I think it's a challenge for management, isn't it? Because I think so many management sort of justify their existence by making sort of the big decisions, right?
Yeah.
It's their job and why they're paid the big dollars. However, in games, what you're doing is you seem to be, not you, but gaming seems to open up decision making. Certainly at the front end of the process you just described, where you're really challenging and answering the big questions.
Yeah.
Where it's not just the head of global marketing who makes decisions about the global marketing.
Yeah.
You're opening up that debate to other functions and to other sets of eyes. And for many management, that's almost an affront, right? An affront to my role. How do you, in your experience, do you address that issue of opening up decision making to people who may be more junior to you, or even from different functions?
I think that there's two parts to the answer to that. The first is that we have learned, which we didn't get right initially, and I'm happy to be honest about that we have learned that a lot of that sits with preparation in advance of actually coming into the game. You've got to build relationships with the people who are going to be taking part in the game as the facilitator. You've got to get alongside them, explain what's going to happen, explain the concept, how it works, that if we all embrace it and we embrace the behaviours that we want from that room, it will generate an awful lot more. And I think that only happens if you do take that preparation time in advance, and for people to understand what they're coming into the room to do. If you just have somebody walk into the room going, "What's this meeting about? Why are we here?" And you've got to then take time explaining to them why they're there and what the test is. You've already lost. Yeah. So getting that right up front, I think, is a crucial bit. I think the second part then really is, it helps a little bit if I bring in some of my sort of past life, military life, of explaining, particularly to senior leaders, that even as a very senior person in the military, I am not doing the thinking, I'm doing the decision making. And the decision games that we're running, I don't think should result necessarily in the room in decisions. The decision games, if you like, shouldn't necessarily be like maybe a poor title. It should be more around the thinking about what we could do, where we could go. If we do it in that particular way, what is the outcome? How does that unravel? What are the second and the third order consequences? Yeah. And so it starts to enable you to make decisions subsequent to the game, yes, if you like. Yes. And we see this quite a lot of a client, for example, exploring a particular approach that they've taken and a particular angle they want the plan to run on. And it's clear that it starts to stumble, and it's clear that it's not necessarily the right way to go. So we will, at those points in time, quite often pause the game, give everybody a short break, give the team that are proposing the strategy or the plan a chance to rethink, come up with maybe a different approach, a different angle. Yeah. Get everybody back into the room, and then we rewind slightly and run it again with a different angle. That then gives you the opportunity to see how that different approach will function and perform compared to the one you were on previously. Yeah. So that, in a way, it's a way of taking decisions because you're looking at the performance of both different approaches. Yeah. But you're not necessarily saying at that point in time, it's definitely that one. It's just giving you the opportunity to have much more granular. I agree with you fully.